As car enthusiasts, we all dream about the ultimate garage. We've thought about what it would look like, how we would set it up, and most importantly, how many cars it would hold. 5 years ago, when my grandpa and I went to pick up my Spec B, he said, "You're gonna need a warehouse like mine here soon to keep all of your cars." I laughed and said hopefully, but in reality it felt so distant. After many years of dreaming, today that dream becomes a reality. Welcome to the next chapter. What's up, boys? Welcome back. It has been far too long since we filmed a video. I think when I checked YouTube recently, it had been like 6 months since I posted, which is honestly just embarrassing. Like, it bums me out that it's been so long because this is truly something that I'm passionate about, but rest assured that is not gonna happen again. So before we get into why you guys are all here, I know you saw it in the thumbnail and the title of this video. Let's talk about what's been going on behind the scenes for the last 6 months. First and foremost, you probably noticed the name change. After 4 or 5 years as Avenged Media, I felt the name had just run its course. The name change really came down to the fact that I have bigger dreams and aspirations for the channel than where we've gotten over the last 4 or 5 years, and I felt that the name was just not representative of what I wanted it to become as we move forward here. Over the last few months, I've been thinking about what I wanted to turn the channel into, what my goals were for it, and the different pieces beyond just the actual content on YouTube that I want to have be part of this bigger brand as a whole. And with that, I went through a long list of different names, talking to friends, getting their opinion on it, and spent months trying to figure out what the perfect name was for this vision that I had in my head, and trying to think of something unique that wasn't out there or easily mistaken for something else. I landed on Avenged Media, and we've gone through a whole rebrand as part of this process. But I've been super excited to announce this to you guys and share it with you, so I hope you guys love it as much as I do. Now, if you followed the channel for a long time or follow us on Instagram, you know that back in September I started an MBA program at the University of Washington and started a job at Griot's Garage shortly before that. So when I started school back in September, my original hope was that I could continue working full-time, go to school part-time, and film content for YouTube. Well, if you couldn't tell by the 6-month hiatus that I've been on, that was overly optimistic. Between school and work, I really just didn't have time to create content, and it was such a bummer for me. Like I said, I'm so passionate about this, and working on my cars, spending time around my cars, driving my cars, brings me so much joy. So it's not only that I wasn't getting to film any of that, I was getting to do a lot less of the things that I loved. But after 2 quarters in the MBA program, I was feeling more and more like it wasn't where I belonged in that moment. And what I've been doing for work over the last 2 to 3 years now directly correlates to this stuff. I've been doing social media, marketing, content creation. So in the back of my head, all I could think about was that I could apply these skills that I've been practicing, implementing, and getting better at into my passion project, which is this channel and the brand as a whole. And so I really felt pulled in this other direction. And one of the big hesitations I had was that I never had a place to keep all of my cars. I was storing cars an hour plus away that I had to go get the Z or the Bronco when I wanted to get it. I didn't have a place to work on cars consistently. And so it made it really hard to take that leap of faith and leave school without something lined up. So when we found this house with the shop, I told myself if we were able to get it, that I was gonna take a leave of absence from school and dive headfirst into this. And as you can tell, we got the house, we got the shop. So here we are at the start of what I think is gonna be an awesome journey and just the beginning of something greater. But I know how I can be inspired by hearing other people's stories and kind of where they're coming from. So if I can provide just a little bit of advice or help even one person pursue their dream, then this next 30 seconds or whatever will be totally worth it. As I said, I really wasn't feeling like I was in the right place when I was in the MBA program. I didn't feel like it was how I wanted to be using my time. So I would encourage all of you guys to be cognizant of the things that you're doing. Don't think that you're stuck in a particular situation just because you started it. It's okay to pivot. In fact, it's good to be able to pivot quickly. And be deliberate with your actions. Think about the things that you want. What are your goals in life? What are you doing to get to those goals? Because if you start taking steps towards that goal, if you take even one step towards that goal, you're gonna be ahead of 90% of the people who the dream just lives in their head. I've wanted to chase this dream for so long, and I feel like I'm finally getting to do that. And I can't wait to share that with all of you guys. But let's get into the exciting stuff of this video. We're sitting in the new shop, the shop that's gonna be the Avenged headquarters, and it is gonna be the home base to making my dream a reality. I'm gonna grab the camera and let's take a tour of this place. I wanna show you guys everything that's in here currently, talk a little bit about all the plans that I have for the shop moving forward, and then we'll start getting a little bit organized and get all the cars parked in here. So as you guys can see, I already started moving some of the stuff in here. I had my blue wagon and a bunch of my garage stuff in a storage locker, so I had to get that out at the end of the last month so I didn't have to pay for another month of storage when we had this place to put it into. So you're not getting to see it totally empty, but it's as empty as it's gonna get. So the wagon's here. My dad's 66 F100 that he restored over the last few years is already here as well. But let's talk a little bit about the shop. So this is a 60 by 33 shop. So we've got a ton of room here for all the car activities. It's technically a 2-story shop, so we've got room up above that we could add a loft to create some extra room, plenty of room for a lift overhead. But this is just like the perfect starting point. Like, it's the structure's all here, and there's so much opportunity to do cool things in here and really finish this place out and make it, you know, truly the dream garage. So I've already got the tool chest over here. We've got new wheels and tires for the full send wagon build, which is going to be getting started very soon. And now that you've seen the garage, you understand why I waited to do this here, because we're going to be able to do that build proper justice with the space to do it in this shop. So my goal today is to get all of this organized and just get this area cleaned up. So like I was saying, this place really is like the perfect starting point. There's like, it's bare bones in terms of like the structure is all here, but it leaves a lot of room for us to create our own space in here and really turn it into like the ultimate dream garage. So long term, I think we'll do some insulation in here. We'll add either sheetrock or some sort of like walls that allow us to hang stuff up better and really make it look all cleaned up and finished in here. Long term, I would love to do something with the floors, but at 2,000 square feet, it's a lot of floor to cover, so it's not my first priority in terms of where to spend money. Really, first up is we want to get some lifts in here, so let me show you what we're thinking. So the only real downside to this shop being longer than it is wide is figuring out where we want to put the lifts. We want to do one single 2-post lift as well as a stacker to store a couple additional cars in here. And I've spent hours in here kind of looking at how to lay this place out. Long term, what I'm thinking makes the most sense is we'll put a 2-post lift towards the back of this garage here, that basically where the wagon is where there would be a 2-post lift. Now, I like this for a couple of reasons. My thought is that we'll put the cars kind of parked at an angle or parked in sideways here, that we can get one car here, a second car here, and then a third car here. We'll basically be putting the truck back a little bit further. And our thought was that there's plumbing back here for a bathroom. We do want to add a bathroom so that there's a toilet and sink that you can wash your hands in and not have to go into the house to actually do that. So bathroom will probably come out to, you know, roughly there. We've got blue tape on the ground for that. And our thought is put a stacker here that would basically go from a little bit in front of this blue line, enough that there's room to walk behind it, up to this post here. So that would be able to store 2 cars there. And we're not going to give up too much space because we were never planning to park a car back here. So you're essentially getting 2 cars in what would be one spot. Now, long term, my dad's truck and my mom has a 70s Riviera. We're going to put those on the stacker. And then that would allow for 3 cars there. So you're fitting 5 cars across this side of the garage. And my thought was for putting the 2-post lift here, first, it's the small garage door. So you're not going to be opening the large garage door frequently, and that makes it so you can pull these cars out of the small garage door easily, have a car back here that's out of the way that you're not gonna have to move stuff around if you've got a long-term project going, and it would leave space in front of it obviously for another 2 or 3 cars. Now long-term, after the lifts and all that kind of stuff, we've talked about doing some sort of loft back here. I would love to have some overhead storage that keeps stuff off the floor so we can stay more organized. Ideally, I'd love to have it run from wall to wall, that you could do kind of half storage and half like a chill space. Now really the last thing that I need to figure out where I want to put that's going to be one of the first things I want to do is the griots wall. For those of you guys that don't know, I work at Griot's Garage. I am super passionate about car care, so having like a fully dedicated griots wall in this garage is an absolute must. Now, my thought was because what I was explaining earlier, if like this side's gonna be the like heavy in and out area, I figured like this spot here in front of the small garage door will be where I like detail cars, vacuum cars, all that kind of stuff. So I wanna have the stuff that I need that's not on like one of the rolling carts easily accessible on the wall here. Now, unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, there's a lot of windows on this wall, but that makes it a little bit challenging to put stuff on that wall. So I feel like it makes the most sense to put it over here. Now, we do have tons of wall space over here, but I figure if cars are parked over here, it makes it harder to get access to that stuff. So I've thought about doing it on this wall. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm thinking this wall over here makes sense. Let me show you guys. So I'm thinking this point here, where between this post and this post, probably make the most sense. It's a little narrower than I would like if I were to design, say, the perfect wall for the griot stuff, but I think it's gonna work. I'm thinking, so this will be like all bottle racks and everything here of all the stuff that I'm gonna use on a regular basis and want frequent access to. I'm thinking we could do a nice display here, and I'm guessing, actually I'm not even guessing, I know for a fact that we've got room between those posts that we could do double wide bottle racks and then do kind of multiple different rows of them there. So I'm thinking that's probably where I'll put it. We're probably gonna use a lot of it, so it makes sense to have it out in an easily accessible area, but I also want it to be visually appealing. We've got really nice bottle racks that display the product nicely. They're bright red and look super cool, so I wanna make sure we've got a nice spot for those. And then we'll probably mount the pressure washer on the wall. I'm thinking this spot between the two garage doors here makes the most sense, because then you can wash a car on either side and pull the hose out, and it's centrally located. So we'll probably mount the pressure washer on the wall here. I think that'll be a good spot for it. That covers most of the plans that I have right away. I'd love to hear you guys' opinion on where I should put stuff, or if you think that like the lifts and the griot stuff is like, those are the best spots for it. Obviously, as I spend more time in here, I'll probably have a better idea of kind of how I flow through the garage and where it makes sense to put stuff, but that's what I'm thinking for now. And then so we can get all of the cars in here. We're gonna go get the Bronco and the Z, so all the cars can finally be in the garage. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of organization. First order of business is taking care of this corner. So I'm not gonna keep this workbench, mainly because I don't like the looks of it, and I wanna get kind of like I want the shop to look nice. We're gonna be doing a lot of filming in here, so that's gotta go. I'm gonna clear out everything that's on that so that I can set up my big storage rack there. I don't know if I'll keep the rack there long term, but I think for right now, it makes the most sense to put it there. So I'm gonna go ahead and tackle this corner. Next order of business is getting those wheels and tires, and these wheels and tires over here. We're gonna put them all lined up there nicely for now. Major progress on the corner organization. That whole pile of stuff is gone. We've got it nicely organized here. The last really bit of organizational stuff that I need to do is taking care of my car care supplies. I think this is most of them, so what I'm gonna do is go ahead and organize stuff onto the cart for now. This is nice to be able to roll around like a car as you're working on it. And anything that I don't wanna put on the cart and will eventually go in the cabinets or on the bottle racks and stuff over there, I'm gonna tuck up on these shelves up here just for now, so it's nice and organized and off the floor here. Detailing supplies all organized onto our lightweight detailing cart. Long term, most of these bottles won't be on here. We're gonna put them on the bottle racks over there. They'll look really nice and be easy to access. And then I can kind of configure this for having just the stuff that I want to wheel around the car frequently. We also have another cart that I'll be putting together. It's back here. I'll be putting that together in the next video. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and put this stuff up where I'm thinking the car wash stuff goes. And that's gonna wrap up our organization in here, and then we can get all the cars in here and start seeing how this place looks all set up. With the garage all organized, it's time to go ahead and pull the Z and the Bronco in. Now I did pick up these cars from the warehouse where they were being stored yesterday. I'll go ahead and insert that footage here. We've made it over to the warehouse. I've got the Z and the Bronco behind me, and I haven't seen either of these two cars in probably 2 months. So I'm super excited to see them, and it's gonna be huge to have them all in one place. The Bronco's been on a trickle charger, the Z is not, so I hope it starts up. I'm gonna go and get these things uncovered and try to fire them up, and so we can actually move them out of here. Looks like the trickle charger on the Bronco was stolen at some point. I don't know where that went, so fingers crossed this thing starts up. There she goes. All right, let's see if the Z wants to play nice. Moment of truth. Oh, we got power. Oh. Yep. All right, let's see if we can jump this thing. With a little jump start from the Bronco, the Z started right up. Ooh, it's good to hear this thing again. Whew, that is a beautiful sight. Two of my favorite cars here. I cannot wait to see these two with the Legacy GT. Let's get a few shots of these things. It's been a while, you guys. Well, it's going to show on camera, but this thing needs a wash so bad. We might wrap up this video with a wash because I cannot stand to see any of my cars this dirty. Oh man, that's embarrassing. That's so embarrassing. All right, boys, the two cars are ready to go. They're being saved. We're taking them to the new shop. This is so big. I feel like a kid on Christmas morning right now. Let's get these two things back to the shop. Made it to the shop. The Z and the Bronco are here. This is the first time all three of my cars have ever been in the same place, so I'm pretty excited to get them inside. We're gonna pull them in and just park them for the night. I forgot one of the keys for another car that's in the shop right now that we need to move around, so I'm gonna park them in there and I will catch up with you guys tomorrow. Got these two rescued yesterday. Like I said, had to wash the Z, couldn't put it away dirty. It's a sickness, you guys. But Z's ready to go. Bronco's all good to go. Let's get them in their new home. You guys, I'm honestly in such disbelief that I get to call this home, that this is the new garage for the channel. This is just the beginning. Just look at how good this looks. The last thing to do here, I need to open up this box. I got some trickle chargers from work. We sell these at Griot's Garage, and I just want to make sure I had all of the cars that are sitting on trickle chargers so the batteries don't die on me like we saw yesterday when I went to pick up the Z. Boom. Got 3 of these battery managers, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the cars hooked up real quick. right, boys, I'm gonna wrap up the video there. I hope you guys are as excited as I am about the shop. I have been dreaming of something like this for so long, and to finally have this opportunity feels surreal. And I just know it's gonna open up a ton of doors and opportunities for this channel to really take it to the next level. And I can't wait to share that with you guys. If you're not already subscribed, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down below. Throw this video a like. We've got a ton of good stuff coming for the channel. First and foremost, we're gonna do a garage build, getting this shop fully situated, at least like a phase one of like everything we need to make this operational and film great content here. Beginning with lifts. I wanna give a huge shout out to BenPack. BenPack is helping us out a little bit to get some lifts in here. We're gonna do a 2-post over here, close to where the wagon is, and then a 4-post back here to store 2 cars on and free up some floor space in here. So we'll have a full video of the lifts going in, and then in addition to that, behind where the wagon is, or if the wagon is a little more forward, there's gonna be a wall with a full like garage organization, cabinets, all that kind of stuff that'll sit in front of the lift with a workbench and give us a nice place to work. Obviously, we gotta build out the full griots wall, do a full collection of that. So we've got a bunch of good videos coming on building out the garage. Once we've got the lifts in here, we are gonna get after it on that full send legacy build. My hope is to have that done before the Northwest Express, which happens at the end of July. So we've got a lot of work to do between now and then. Now, before we get into all the new fun stuff with the garage and the legacy, I do have a couple videos that I filmed over the course of the last year that just never got edited and put out to you guys. So you guys are gonna see 2 or 3 videos over the course of the next few weeks that are on the Bronco. So we got the Bronco back here. I filmed a whole video getting that running for the first time after it sat for 5 years. Had a little bit of help from my dad, learned how to rebuild a carburetor. That's gonna be an awesome video. And then we've got a full detail video on that. So we used all the griots products and spent over 30 hours detailing this thing, full paint correction, detailing the engine bay, cleaning up the interior. Like, it's spotless, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. It's gonna be a super satisfying video for you to watch. And then something a little special. So one thing I didn't tell you guys, and I didn't show anywhere on social media, if you can see back there, the Z's got some new wheels on it that have never been shown to the world. So we got a full video getting those on the car, and that should wrap up the old videos before we get into the new stuff. But man, I can't wait to get back to the weekly content, you guys. From here on out, we've got videos every Monday at 9 a.m. And depending on how the garage build goes and the legacy build goes, we may step up to 2 videos a week for a while, just to be pumping out some serious content. We'll talk more about that later. But until next week, that's a wrap.